Hello and welcome to another episode of the Quack Report. My name is Carter and I am joined by my co-host Nate, and we're going to talk some Ducks hockey here for you guys, you lovely, lovely people, you beautiful Orange County and not Orange County listeners.
Yeah.
I was going to say beautiful people from Anaheim, then I was like, we have a lot of people that don't listen from Anaheim. So
there's a lot of people in like Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly. Surprisingly, but not surprisingly, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I forget where there's like a concentration of like European listeners come from one country. I forget what country it is offhand. I guess
it's like Norway or something.
Yeah.
I think it's Norway, yeah.
So if we have that right, shout out to the people in Norway.
Yeah. Which makes sense because like we do have a lot of Swedish players, and I know that Norway and Sweden are different countries, okay? But they're both in like the same general geographic location.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna take your word for that. I don't remember the map of Europe off the top of my head.
I'm not fantastic at that either, but I do know that like Norway, Sweden, and Finland are all like those upper northern Scandinavian countries. So I know we have a couple listeners from Germany as well. They've reached out a couple times. So appreciate that too. It's very cool.
Yeah. So it's I forget who it was that reached out from Germany though, but they were wanting, what was it? They were wanting our theme song, I think, as like their ringtone, and asked how they might be able to or whatever. And like I had messaged back of just like send us an email or whatever, and I'll just send it to you kind of thing. So but yeah, that was like kind of the realization of like, oh, like we have people tuning in from like quite a far away from us even. So like I guess technically Anaheim-based listeners are far away from you and I.
Oh yes, definitely.
But like across the pond, kind of far away. So
yeah, exactly.
It's cool. It's cool. The internet can suck sometimes, but it can also be a wonderful thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I was trying to find that email, but our email account is a bit of a disaster. So it's but that's okay. But either way, shout out. You know who you are, and we appreciate you very much. And we hope that you get lots of phone calls and people are like, oh man, that was a sick ringtone. What is that? And then you're like, check out the podcast.
Yeah. That's really like, what band is that? Kidding, it's not a band, it's a podcast theme.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we got a couple games to talk about here on this episode. We've got the Canucks game, the Kevin Bieksa spectacular night, and then the second San Jose Sharks game that has happened this week, just on Saturday. We got those two to talk about. So there's going to be some good discussion, I'm sure, both for on both sides, both for the positives and the negatives. So there's lots of stuff to talk about there. But if you're new to the show, thank you for coming. We hope that you enjoy what we are about to inject into your ear holes for the next 45 minutes to an hour here. And then also, if you really enjoy it, you can leave us a 5-star review on your podcasting platform, or a like on YouTube if that's where you found us there. That just would help to grow the channel. Subscribing, that helps to just grow the channel and grow the community here. We've slowly been growing over the last couple of years. And every year or two, and it's just fantastic, and we love the community of people that we got here. So that's how you can grow our channel, just to help us out there. And also, we have down in the description a couple links, one of them for a merch store. We just dropped 3 new lines of merch, a Mighty collection featuring the original Ducks colors, even though they're not ours, they're still fantastic. And then we've got I don't know the names of the other two, but they're cool.
The Sticks collection, STIX, because just trying to be cool.
Yeah.
I also just didn't know what else to call it. I was like, I can't think of anything else for this.
And I mean, it's 2 hockey sticks crossed with our letters.
TQR19. Yeah.
And then what was the other one called? It's kind of like the psychedelic font, but I know you didn't call it psychedelic.
I just called it the retro collection.
Right.
So it's kind of like the 70s kind of sports script for the Quack Report. And I was kind of looking at that and I'm like, you know what, that would make for a nice logo for us, but no, I like the one that we have. So it's a cool.
If
we had to change it though, that's what it would be, I think. So we'd have some fun with that.
Yeah, maybe if we do like an alternate jersey,
there you go.
With this one, we can do like the angled script.
Yeah, I'm gonna break every rule that I have about script jerseys and make one for us. I'm not normally a fan of them. There's like
Yeah.
very few that can pull it off, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair.
So
And then the other link we have down in the description is just a feedback form, which we'll probably leave open till like the end of the month. That seems reasonable. It's been open for a couple months now, but
yeah,
I did look just today. We got a couple more responses, some more fantastic feedback. So we really appreciate that from you guys. And
I'm
yeah,
taking your word on it. I haven't read any of it yet.
yeah, that's fair. I haven't really either. I've just given a quick scroll just to kind of like get the highlights, and then I'll
Yeah.
kind of compile a package for us
There you go.
of the main points. So yeah, very much appreciated for those that did submit. We obviously don't know who you are, but yeah, we really appreciate it. So
Yeah. Unless you put your name in there is a place for like typing out stuff, right? Or is it all just
there
like,
is. Yeah, there's like a general comments thing, but like it doesn't specifically ask for name. It's like
So unless you put your
how long
name
you've been
in
a hockey
there.
fan for, like that kind of stuff. So yeah. But yeah, that's I think all of the housekeeping stuff that we have to go through for now. So with that, we can get into the Canucks game. If you're ready, Nate.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. So on the night of Kevin Bieksa's official retirement from the NHL after signing a one-day contract with the Vancouver Canucks there, it was a wild night, man.
Yeah.
13 goals.
A little bit.
Jeez. 8-5 final for the Vancouver Canucks over the Anaheim Ducks there. That doesn't really reflect the whole story of the game. It was close up until the last little bit of it, really. Like I think it was it was tied 4-4 or 5-5 at one point, was it not?
I think 4-4, yeah, it was tied. 8 goals scored in the third period between the two teams.
Yeah, which is wild. Sorry, it was 5-4 at one point. That was
kind
of the closest it had got.
Yeah.
5-4 for Vancouver. Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah, it was wild, interesting to say the least. So by the way, I want to shout out to our boss Dylan, who did awesome for the first 2 periods of the watch along there between Vancouver and Anaheim. And I was just in the chat talking with him and other people for like, the watch along cruise and that kind of thing.
Yeah. And
Dylan had brought up that he was only able to do the first 2 periods. So I was like, oh, hey, I might know somebody that can tag in if you want. So thanks for whoever stuck around to hang out with me for that last period. Definitely the craziest out of the 3. There's one comment in particular though that I have to go back and find it, but I was kind of I was laughing at it on air and brought it up.
Oh yeah.
That was talking about like it was saying like you're super excited at one point and then you're down in the dumps the next. Make up your mind. And I read that on air and then I went, welcome to being an Anaheim Ducks fan. Clearly you're not one here. So it's and I mean like it's part of the entertainment value, I guess, too.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So like I'm not just going to be monotone the entire way through it. Right? So
yeah, exactly.
But
you gotta have an emotional range, I suppose.
Exactly. So I was just having fun with it. So, and having fun with everybody in the chat as usual. So yeah, we will be doing another one in the future for sure. Just not sure when exactly yet. So, but when we know, we will let you guys know. This one, me hopping on for the third period was a little out of the blue, I guess, like last minute.
Yeah.
So
exactly. Yeah. Cause we knew that Dylan was doing that one. So we were just like, okay.
Yeah. I think it was like 5 minutes left in the second I made the offer to him in the chat. So, but just to keep the party going. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about special teams here because that was a big story for this one. And it's something we talked about last time too. Oh yeah. Well, we did score on the power play after 27 consecutive power plays without a goal. We finally got one. And not only one, we got 2.
Yeah, we went 2 for 3 on the power play. And that third one, like we didn't even get the full 2 minutes because it was within the last 2 minutes of the game.
Oh yeah.
So we did all right for once on the power play.
Did pretty good. Yeah. That's good. That's what you want to see. And I mean, the one was a nice move from Troy Terry. Like more of a rush play. What was the second one? Why am I forgetting what that one was?
Second one was Zegras, I think.
Right. Yep.
So
Yeah. So that, yeah, I mean, couple really nice plays. Nice to see the power play actually get some results. Like we talked last time that
mhm.
the power play, or that I think the power play is doing a lot of things right, but there's also a lot of things that need to be cleaned up. And
Yeah.
it was nice to see them benefit off of the things that they were doing right. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just, finding those right chances at this point. And yeah, we went out for supper the other night and we were kind of talking about this game already. We kind of had a impromptu episode, if you will, with
yeah,
no cameras or anything like that.
yeah,
And I was talking about for the Zegers one in particular, right? Just skating up, I guess kind of like the Ducks right side up through center, kind of like on top of the circles there. And Zegras just finding this tunnel between everybody, right?
hmm
And you could see it in the camera view that was kind of like from the other end of the ice, like the behind view essentially.
yeah,
And you can see that tunnel with where Zegras is wanting to go for it. And I'm like those are the chances that I'm talking about that you need to go for, right? Not the Klingberg ones where you're just throwing it into traffic,
and
hoping it's
hoping
getting
that
through,
something
right? Like
happens. Yeah,
it's it's getting the chances of finding that spot, right? Finding that moment that it's getting through people, but you're not shooting it into everybody's legs, right?
yeah,
That it's still like the goalie's still not quite ready for, or that kind of thing, right?
hmm
Like that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about quality chances on the power play. And that's what the Ducks have not been getting. And they managed to get two of them in this game. It was looking way better.
yeah,
So
yeah, which is good for sure. We just to jump ahead a little bit, they didn't get any power plays in the Ducks and Sharks game,
yeah,
so
at
we can't really
all.
talk about,
What the
which is surprising.
fuck?
But hopefully next time we do get power play opportunities, we can see if this was just a flash in the pan, or if we've kind of figured it out, and we'll start to see
Yeah.
some more results and hopefully balance out the shit average that we have right now. But
Yeah, exactly.
speaking of shit averages right now, penalty kill. It's 1 for 3 in that game. Although 1 for 5, I guess, against the Sharks, just to tie that in. Or sorry,
Yeah.
4 for 5. 4 for 5 against the Sharks
Yeah.
on the penalty kill. They were 1 for 5 on their power play. So, but yeah, it did not look good against the Canucks here. Like that was disastrous.
Yeah, it really was. And I mean, you could argue, oh yeah, it wasn't that the Ducks PK was bad, it's that the Sharks or the Canucks I'm getting my games mixed up here. The Canucks power play was good. And I was talking to Dylan about it beforehand. We basically both agreed that our defenses are just shit.
Yeah.
Like the offense, that's fine. Clearly by the score of this game,
Yeah, right.
right? The defense, not so much. Starting goalies, it's like they're trying their best for the most part, it
hmm
seems like, but their stats are kind of getting hindered because of the defensive play in front of them too. So, because I did bring up to Dylan, I'm like, I'm this close to dropping Thatcher Demko in my fantasy leagues or whatever. But so yeah, that
Yeah.
was a talking point before he left. But yeah, defense for both teams. That game was not there, so it's not just the Ducks for
hmm
once.
Yeah. Which is a big
Um,
slap in the face on Kevin BX night. Really, like.
yeah, but even
Like you can't even
then,
try to play defense when Kevin BX is in the building. Like, come on.
yeah, but like even then, I would argue that the Ducks defense was still way worse. Just taking a look at the heat
Mm.
map here, Canucks still had their way with shooting in the slot
Oh yeah.
compared to the Ducks, where like they did get chances for sure, but not near the amount of them. Uh, like the heat maps will kind of vary depending on like the amount of attempts actually taken,
hmm
right? And so for this game in particular, 4.75 attempts, and it is just massive red blotch in the Vancouver
hmm
there, and then it's like just like a faint blue, I guess. Like it differentiates between like red and blue for each side just to kind of show you.
hmm
Um, but yeah, just like very faint blue just out of the green thing of like, yeah, you didn't get many chances there. So
hmm Yeah.
yeah,
So
Canucks
I mean, what else is
offense
new,
still
right?
had
Like,
their way. So
yeah, it's same shit, different smell. Like,
yeah. Like that's if you want to sum up this game quickly, it's yes, both offenses are good, both defenses are shit, but Vancouver's is just a little better in both aspects.
Yeah,
Which is
little.
which is what we expected.
I wouldn't say
But
better, but their defense is less shit, and their forwards are a little better.
lesser of two evils. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
We'll go
yeah,
with that.
yeah. Because I wouldn't say that they have better defense. That it's just less shit.
Yeah, and mind
So,
you, like even for ours, like on paper, like when we were talking at the start of the year, we were like, this defense like could do something well, right? But now you're
mhm,
also out Vakanainen and Drysdale
mhm.
in
With no replacements, because John
yeah,
Moore is who knows what's going on with him too. Um,
yeah. So it's interesting. The one guy, and actually I meant to double check his stats here in particular. The one guy that at least stood out to me defensive wise was oh my god, who was I even thinking of?
Bolio,
Yeah, Bolio. Thank you.
mhm.
I was like, it wasn't Benoit. Yeah,
The
Bolio.
other one, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, he's been a nice surprise. Like he's not like
yeah,
he hasn't
he
like stepped up to be that top pairing guy like Drysdale was, but like he's stepped up his game in the absence of Drysdale. Not filled the
yeah,
shoes completely, but it's an improvement.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's expected on ice goals for and against differential was a negative 0.03. So like he's just right
Just
there
average.
where
Yeah.
he should be. Yeah. Like for like what he contributed offensively, but I think that shows more on his defensive end,
Hmm.
right? Because
Yeah.
yeah, that was really good. Um, yeah, only three guys did better for like than him on the expected goal differential, and that
Mhm.
was Mason McTavish, Brett Leeson, and Max Jones. So
Mhm.
that
The guys who
like
got a goal that you didn't
yeah.
expect to get a goal, right?
So after that, Nathan Beaulieu had the best there.
Which
So
is
that's
fantastic. Yeah.
yeah, it was really good to see. And just double checking for um how many blocks he had. Where did that stat go here? Um, why can't I find it?
For
Oh yeah,
the you got it.
it says he had just one block, but like
Mm.
okay, on maybe on like direct shots, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
the guy broke up like
You broke.
blocked
Yes. Yeah.
passing plays and whatnot. Like Bolio looked really good. And that's not me saying like it as a surprise, right? But
No.
just how good he looked in that game. Like the way that he was playing, that's the guy that I would replace on the top line. That's the guy that I would want there
Hmm.
personally. After again, that is just one game, but that's the type of play that's a first line defenseman for me, even for a team
Oh,
like
for
this
sure.
right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
Bolio
definitely not
was
permanently, but
really
like,
good.
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. And I
Yeah,
mean,
and
he's,
again, like 11:45 of ice time, like that as a defenseman even shouldn't be noticeable, whether good or
yeah.
bad,
Hmm.
but it was in the positive respect.
Yeah.
So like that's where I was like, oh, okay, yeah,
Mhm.
like he did definitely do good there. So
Yeah. And I mean, Nathan Beaulieu's like the, not like the flashiest guy. Like he's not your household name. Like most
yeah,
people don't really know who he is unless you're super into fantasy hockey or he has played on a team that you cheer for.
yeah,
Like most people aren't going to know who Nathan Beaulieu is. And like guy was signed, like we signed him off a PTO, right? Like so
mhm,
that doesn't just happen for like big name guys, right? But he's 29 years old and he's played 427 games in the NHL. That number alone right there tells you that he is doing something right. If
mhm. If
between
he's sticking
32
around,
coaches and GMs, they have said, okay, we want to play this guy 427 times in about a 10-year span.
mhm.
He was drafted 2011, so
Who all he
11,
played
11
for in
years.
the past,
I
and
know
when
Winnipeg
as
was one
well.
of them, but
Yeah,
if I'm looking.
who and when? Because I'm asking the when just to put into context of like what their team was like.
That's fair. So he was drafted by Montreal and then played for them from 2012 to 2017. Um,
Okay,
and
so Montreal like could make playoffs, but it was kind of rough at times too.
yeah,
From what I can
uh,
remember.
Buffalo from 2017 to 2019, so a couple seasons there.
Dog shit Buffalo
Yeah,
teams.
yeah. Winnipeg from 2018 to 2022.
It was a decline for Winnipeg.
Yeah, I mean they still made playoffs those years.
Yeah.
And to be fair though, he didn't play a ton. 18 games in 18-19, 38 the next season, 25 and 24. So like your seventh line,
Yeah, you're seventh
seventh
guy.
flyer guy
Yep.
that fills in for injuries. And then Anaheim just this last season. So
Okay.
yeah, like not fantastic teams. Like he's obviously not like your big name guy that's like you're gonna play him 82 games a season and rely on him in all situations. But like he still comes in when he needs to and does the job he's expected. So,
Yeah, exactly.
I guess just sorry, while we're on the topic of Nathan Beaulieu, I was gonna save this for a little bit later, but
Oh yeah, bring
the,
it up.
the dude has 3 fights in his last 3 games because he fought Luke Cunnin on the first against the Sharks. That was in the second period. He fought Dakota Joshua. Is that his first name? Yeah, Dakota Joshua with Vancouver. 3 minutes into the first period of that game, and then on the fifth, almost 5 minutes in, fought Jonah Gadjevich with San Jose as well. So three fights in a row,
yeah.
just like early on in the game too, and like especially the last two, like they weren't provoked, at least that I could see. Like it was just like, hey, we're gonna drop the gloves. I don't like the way your face looks. Like let's get our teams into this kind of thing. Like it was just like early, let's get into the game kind of thing.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see who has become the muscle almost for this
Mhm.
team since Nick Delorier is no longer a part of it, right?
Yeah.
Like we knew Nick Delorier outside of points, right? Like his contribution that way was a big part of the Ducks team over the last couple of seasons, right?
Yeah.
Like you could tell that he's a locker room guy, especially.
Mhm.
And on ice, yeah, he was that muscle for sure, right? Like once Delorier was traded at the trade deadline, you saw how teams took it to Anaheim after the fact.
Mhm. Yeah.
So would I have liked him to be a Duck again? Absolutely. Could somebody still fill that hole? Yes, but it's kind of been a few guys doing it by committee
Mhm.
lately, which has been really interesting. So yeah, Bolio is one of them. Comtois has been getting into scraps as well lately,
Mhm. Yep.
more so than before. But like even he's kind of done better with his production again lately, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
Exactly.
kind of been interesting with Max Comtois this year.
Even yeah. Sorry. Let me finish. I'll finish this thought, and then I'll
Yeah.
continue off of yours here as well. Because I had something else that came up there. But yeah, Nick Delorier with 3 fights already this season with Philadelphia. Same as Beaulieu. So he has definitely filled the Nick Delorier role already. And then Tanner Jeannot also has 3, if you care to keep track. So those are the fighting major leaders there. But yeah, and so with Nathan Beaulieu turning into a bit of a goon here, I wanted to slap this meme together. So I apologize if you're not watching. I'll maybe make a clip of this if you're just listening. But so yeah, Nathan Beaulieu here with Ross Ray. The like same. Like they even look the same, right?
They
Like
do a little
they've got
bit,
that
yeah.
little, like Nathan Beaulieu not so much, but he's got like a little bit of the handlebar coming in there, but the slicked back hair and like the just like you can just tell by looking at these guys that they want to punch somebody in the face and they also want to be punched in the face.
Yeah. Good old Lee Schreiber.
Yeah.
Lee Schreiber, yeah. Fuck,
So.
now you just make me want to go watch Goon.
Goon and The Office. Just have them both on simultaneously.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, we'll either post a clip or the picture on our social media there. So
Yeah.
so you can still appreciate the hard 2-minute work that I put into that meme.
But yeah, so outside of that though, I'm gonna brush quickly, I guess, through this negative. It doesn't need to be a long talking point. Back-to-back hat tricks against. Oh wait, no, sorry. I was jumping ahead.
Okay.
No, wait, yeah.
Well, no, you brought it up.
No, we're talking about the Canucks. No, we're talking about the Canucks.
Yeah, we are. Yep.
Yeah, okay, I'm fine then.
Yeah. It's just confusing because we played San Jose twice in the last 3 games. So.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So back-to-back hat tricks against Carlson on the Tuesday there. And then Andrei Kuzmenko, who like I had to ask the chat. I'm like, okay, like if there's Canucks fans in there, like, am I just like not paying as much attention overall anymore, as much as I still try to, or like just where did this Kuzmenko guy come from? And we were kind of talking about it after the fact of like, oh, okay, like he's just like a he's like a high prospect, right? Who's
Yeah.
kind of getting into the lineup now.
I did some more thinking about it. He came actually from the KHL, so he's got
Okay, that makes sense.
that experience there. So.
But yeah, that was his 11th NHL game. His 11th. And he scored NHL goals number 4, 5, and 6 for his hat trick.
Yeah.
The guy literally doubled his goal scoring totals in one night in his 11th NHL game. Oh, man.
Oh yeah, here we go. He's 26 years old. So he's like, not like to compare him directly, but like Kaprizov kind of level. Like older, like mid-20s in his prime kind of guy already that's like now just coming over from the KHL into the NHL. So it's not like some 18-year-old like fucking 180 pounds soaking wet
that,
like teenager like baby-faced guy was just like lighting us up. This is a man.
So. But yeah, so back-to-back hat tricks, that's not a great look, obviously, especially when it's from yes, William Karlsson is having a resurgence this year, and it is Eric. Say William Karlsson.
Yeah.
We were talking about Vegas before we started the show here. Yeah, Eric Karlsson is having a resurgence this year, right? But a hat trick from a defenseman, even of like Karlsson's history, right?
Yeah,
a hat trick from a defenseman. Yikes! And then you got a guy who's in his 11th NHL game putting up another hat trick against you. Like, come on, guys, come on.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tough look. And actually, sorry, I do have to correct something from the last episode. That was actually Eric Karlsson's first career hat trick, which is wild.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It was?
It was, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, I did look it up after, and it is. So it's, yeah, we had said just first with a Shark, but it was also the first hat trick by a Sharks defenseman in team history.
Again, Anaheim just has to give everybody the firsts and...
Yeah, right.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, technically Brent Burns had a hat trick, but he was a forward when he got the hat trick with San Jose.
Oh, yeah.
So technically a defenseman, but he was a forward in that scenario. So Eric Karlsson, first career hat trick and first hat trick as a Shark. So, I mean, regrettably, but like, it's kind of cool.
Okay, I'm gonna bring up one more negative thing, but then I have something to go with it to kind of make it a touch better. Okay,
go for it.
Normally, if I'm bringing up the goaltending, right, and like saying it's not great, like you can make some arguments kind of against it. However, though, for this game against the Canucks, it seemed I was not the only one who was not a fan of John Gibson's game in particular. Just, you know what? Yes, he didn't really have a whole lot of help in front of him. We're used to that at this point. So
yeah,
it's not even that here. But like the guy just did not seem in it. I guess like the example that I pulled was Miller's goal to JT Miller's goal to make it 3-1, right? Like, yes, it was a cross crease, but like Gibson literally just like he went from the butterfly to like laying down where he was, which was on his right side of the goal, and the goal was scored on the left side. Like,
yeah,
he made like, oh, okay, like he was like reaching out. No, he like didn't even reach out with his leg. Like it was just he just fell.
Yeah, that's like, one of those plays that you can tell like he's not into it because that's not a play.
Yeah, it's not an NHL goalie normally makes. Thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like, yes, he had a high volume of shots against. He had 46 shots against. You get tired. I get that, but an 848 save percentage, a negative 3.4 goal save above expected. That is a rough night.
Yeah,
and just to compare it. We'll look at the guy at the other end of the ice, Spencer Martin, at an 839 save percentage on 31 shots and a negative 278 goal save above expected. Okay. But this was Martin's 12th NHL game. Right? Like, this guy is a rookie. for
Yeah.
lack of a better term.
No, it is. Yeah.
Or I guess technically he is, right? But like Gibson literally put up rookie numbers against the Canucks, which like this isn't a slight at them, are nowhere near where I think they should be, even.
Mhm.
Right? Like going back to what we were talking about, like with our way too early season predictions. And again, way too early on them, apparently. But like this team, like the Canucks should be better than they are, right?
Yeah.
Considering like how other teams in the Pacific are doing, maybe not playoff worthy, but they should be doing better. But yeah, this effort in particular from Gibson was not it whatsoever.
No.
However, I do think one of the goal save above expected in that negative 3.4 though is to do with the single low danger chance that got scored against him.
Mhm.
Which, you know what, I'll give him a little bit of a benefit of the doubt on that, because and I'm in my head, I'm taking that away. So a negative 2.4. It's still not good.
No.
It's not good.
No.
Don't get me wrong. But it makes it better. And here's why. The one goal that got in, that was a low danger goal, should have been called goaltender interference by the
Absolutely.
officials on ice, by the Toronto Situation Room, and by the NHL as a whole. How the fuck does that get called back? Or not get called back, sorry. How does that stand?
I
How
would
does
love
that goal stand?
I would love an explanation. Like, what could you possibly come up with for an explanation for that?
Like I forget who the Vancouver player was, so forgive me, but like he is in the crease, initiates like it like does get contact on Gibson as Gibson's trying to get to the puck to cover it up, right? Which pushes him to Gibson's left. The puck comes out to the right, and the guy taps it in. How is that not goaltender interference? So guess what, everybody? I'm going to read you Rule 69 again, which
Hey,
is funny
nice.
because it's 69, right? It's a good old laugh, but like Jesus Christ, we were joking like outside of like, oh, maybe the the NHL refs like see 69 and kind of laugh and then accidentally forget to fucking read it and go to Rule 70 because they don't know what
Mhm.
the fuck they are doing on this. So again, I'm gonna read to you the chunk on goaltender interference.
Okay.
And then I have a specific part highlighted as well that comes just a little bit later. All
Okay.
right.
Okay.
So, Rule 69, interference on the goalkeeper. 69.1. This rule is based on the premise that an attacking player's position, whether inside or outside the crease, should not by itself determine whether a goal should be allowed or disallowed. In other words, goals scored while attacking players are standing in the crease may, in appropriate circumstances, be allowed. Goals should be disallowed only if 1. An attacking player, either by his positioning or by contact, impairs the goalkeeper's ability to move freely within his crease or defend his goal. I think just right there, getting pushed away from the puck and the direction that it's going,
Yeah, that's
should be the call on its own.
literally textbook. Like, this is the situation described exactly as it happened.
And then point 2, an attacking player initiates intentional or deliberate contact with a goalkeeper inside or outside his goal crease. Now, okay, I don't think it's deliberate. He's going for the puck also.
But he didn't avoid it, so it's
No.
deliberate.
Incidental
Let's
contact with a goalkeeper will be permitted and resulting goals allowed when such contact is initiated outside of the goal crease, provided the attacking player has made a reasonable effort to avoid such contact. That is right in the middle of the fucking blue paint. Now, the part that I have highlighted here, because about a paragraph later, the overriding rationale. Sorry, maybe I didn't read it. I'm going to read this, I guess, on air anyway.
Okay.
The overriding rationale of this rule is that a goalkeeper should have the ability to move freely within his goal crease without being hindered by the actions of another player. If an attacking, okay, no, I did read this right. If an attacking player enters the goal crease and, by his actions, impairs the goalkeeper's ability to defend his goal and a goal is scored, the goal will be disallowed. Again, I'll read that paragraph one more time.
Mhm.
A goalkeeper should have the ability to move freely within his goal crease without being hindered by the actions of an attacking player. If an attacking player enters the goal crease and, by his actions, impairs the goalkeeper's ability to defend his goal and a goal is scored, the goal will be disallowed. Do I need to read it a third time for NHL officials? Because like,
I
what the fuck are you being paid for?
I still
You're
don't
not
think
being
that would
paid to
get
just
through
go
then.
for
Yeah.
free skate.
Yeah, right.
How the like? Okay, the officials. That's one thing. That's one group. How the fuck does the situation room get this one this wrong? This is the one time
don't
I
know.
look at Dallas Eakins' reaction on the bench and I go, yeah, you know what? You're actually fucking right this time on your reaction here.
Yeah,
That is horrible. Like,
yeah,
that
he was
is
literally just like, I don't know. Like, I don't even know what to say. I don't know how to
that is
react.
one of the worst, like, fuck ups. I'm dropping the F bomb a lot. I get it. Sorry, everybody.
That's fine.
Especially if you're a small child. Also, why are you listening to this if you're a small child, though? Anyway, like, to fuck it up this bad, that is a top 3 example that I have seen out of the NHL.
Oh yeah.
And I'll argue that the top one is actually against Anaheim. And that's and you know, I might get some flack for this one, the Kessler and Talbot thing in the 2017 playoffs.
Yeah, I would
like,
have to agree with you.
This is as obvious of it. And and my reaction here is having some time to even sit with it. Like, that is horrible. That is horrible.
Yeah, that's
like, I did have the clip of me, because the great part was I was doing the watch along actually when this happened.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it again though, because I accidentally got rid of it and I searched up something else here.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Here. Give me a second to talk about, or to find it if you want to. Oh, actually, wait. Sorry, no, I did.
You got it?
Yeah, it was already.
Okay.
It saved my spot where I was.
Oh, that's good.
So here, I can share the tab. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so this is from the THPN live stream watch along of the Anaheim Ducks versus the Vancouver Canucks. You can go and find this on the THPN channel. Go like and subscribe to that as well. This is my live reaction to the call being made. Here we go, ruling. What? What? All right, apparently that's a good goal. And again, we ask, what is goaltender interference? The NHL asks as well, because they don't know what it is either.
Yeah, just utter shock.
Like, that was literally it. It was just shock at that point.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, I think it comes up like later in the chat. People are just like, what the fuck? Right? Like,
yeah, like
any
you can't justify it.
Like, yeah, I would love, like, I feel like for this, like, you know how when there's like suspensions made, the NHL puts out those videos explaining what it is that are comedic in their own right.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious because
it's like, oh yeah, you know, this guy, you know, swung his stick and took off this guy's fingers. This is slashing. No shit, thanks. But like I need that for every single allowed, disallowed goal for goaltender interference.
Yeah.
I need that specifically for that and what the reasoning was.
That's sorry if it looks like I haven't been really paying attention. I swear I have, but I'm trying to scroll through the NHL PR account on Twitter because that's where they post these. They like I'm literally staring at one right now. It's video review from 22 hours ago of the Seattle and Pittsburgh no goal call, 7:22 into the first period, which the game was yesterday, Saturday, at potentially it was a different Seattle Pittsburgh game because that wouldn't make sense. That would actually have been before.
Anyways,
but yeah. Well, no, actually, no. It's literally probably like seconds after it happened. But there's no There's nothing for that one. And there's ones for all the other challenges. So they probably couldn't even fucking make a video trying to explain
Yeah, like
why it didn't happen. Like,
is such bogus. Like I forget where I think it was the Steve Dangle podcast. They were talking that it was like the Dangle had heard, or I've been told that the reason that they haven't done like a rewrite basically of the NHL rulebook is that it would take like 4 years to do
oh yeah.
and too much time and money. So that's why it's just like tweaking rules here and there. But I genuinely think, besides what we were talking about for like a goal that gets deflected off of somebody else, like does that change the context of what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like besides maybe having something like that there, the goalie interference rule as written is fine actually, I think.
Yeah, right?
And
It's just not
that's
called
coming
that way though.
and that's coming from an official and a goaltending standpoint here. Like I look at that and I'm like, you know what? That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it works as it is there, I think.
Yeah.
Right? But like how is the basis of it like spelled out for you, not used by the officials and the situation room when that is their fucking job?
Yeah. Right?
Hire me and give me just fucking like free hot dogs whenever I'm doing a game. Fuck, like have somebody that'll just actually get it fucking right for once. That is at least consistent. That's the big thing, right? Like, yes, they do get it right. Yes, they do fuck it up a lot. But like consistency here, people. And the
Mhm.
NHL has a fucking huge issue with consistency.
Oh yeah.
Whether it comes to goaltender interference, or it just comes to officiating, honestly, overall. And you, like Carter, you know, especially, I hate to bag on the officials because I am one, right? If I'm bagging on the officials, though, it's for a fucking reason. And it's because they are fucking up royally when they do.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's as common as it is in the NHL, like the NHL, I'm sure, hates scouting the refs. Like that website. I'm sure they hate it.
Oh yeah.
Right? But for somebody like me or any other hockey fan who like wants to take a look at that kind of stuff, right? Because like we know who the coaches are, right? Like who the players are, especially, right? But like how many of the refs do you actually know who they are besides Wes McCauley? Because media in general, NHL and outside, like to show off when he's, giving some character to the fucking league.
Yeah.
Right?
I bet if you gave me like a few minutes to think of it, I could probably come up with like 3.
Yeah, like Wes McCauley and Tim Peel, and I don't even know if I count that one at this point because the guy got booted because he got caught on air saying that he was trying to find a call on, I think it was Nashville for that game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now Tim Peel is quite active on Twitter. So yes, he's a year 2 removed, but I don't even count him at this point because like just for on ice guys besides Wes McCauley, just think to yourself for a second, how many NHL officials do you know? Like their name or like their ID number essentially, right? Like when I say ID number, like Trevor Zegras is 19, like that's his ID number, right? Like or not Trevor, Troy Terry. But like how many of those guys do you know, right? So that's where it's like scouting the ref is fantastic, right? You can take a look at that and you can see like what's a specific team's record when that ref is playing or is reffing the game, right?
Or playing because they're kind of the third team.
Yeah. Like what's what's the average goals that are going to be scored like for both teams together kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Like you can see all that stuff. Learn who these officials are, and like especially the one. And this is for myself too. Learn the ones that are fucking up constantly, right? Like, and just like something has to change, and it has been asked for by players, by fans, by coaches, like literally everybody who is not NHL officiating. It has been asked for years just for some fucking decent consistency. Can we please just have it? People are tired of begging for consistency to understand let's be honest, a complex game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there needs to be some fucking consistency besides, oh yeah, there's a sheet of ice and there's a puck and guys whack at it. When you get to the other, like to the rules of it otherwise, there's no fucking consistency whatsoever. You're playing a literal new game every time you step on the ice.
Yeah.
And
No,
it
you're
has
right.
to
Yeah.
change. It has to change.
Yeah. So it's yeah, it's I mean,
And we can
I
get
don't have
into it
anything to
again. We
add,
can
so
get
it's
into it
just
again a
wild, but yeah.
little bit later. Not as egregious,
Yeah.
but I have another example.
But yeah,
Not for goalie
it will come
interference,
out again.
but
It's going to come up again. Yeah. So, yeah, that is the game against the Sharks. So it's yeah, obviously bagging on Gibson and goalie interference is like a huge negative for that game. But generally, there was some things to be happy about for that one. So I mean, we got 5 goals. Like that's fantastic.
And you should be able to win with 5 goals, but when John Gibson
Yeah.
plays the way he does, and you have the defense in front that plays the way that it does, whether by choice or by being told how to do it, you get 8 scored against you, and yeah, that doesn't really fucking work. So
Yeah, exactly.
have fun trying to win games that way.
Yeah. We should, I suppose, take a quick break. We'll throw it over to our friends at DraftKings. Sorry that is what we are proceeding.
Oh yeah,
the ad
sorry.
with, so.
I just looked at the time even. Sorry.
Yeah. And then yeah, on the other side, we will talk about the Sharks game. It'll be a little bit more brief because there's not as much to get us going on that one.
Yeah.
Upcoming game, and I suppose that's it. So we will see you in just a couple of minutes here.
NFL Sundays are only getting better, and so are the incredible offers at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. Check this out. Right now, everyone can earn up to a 100% boost with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, place a same-game parlay, and combine multiple bets like which team will win, player props, and point totals. With bigger payouts than ever, DraftKings Sportsbook is my go-to when betting on the NFL. So, what are you waiting for? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, use the promo code THPN, and place a $5 pre-game moneyline bet to get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Again, that's promo code THPN, as in the Hockey Podcast Network, only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
So I have a question for you, Nate. Is there anything better in the entire world than beating the San Jose Sharks in a shootout?
Beating them in a game that we so should not have.
That's a good point.
Like,
yeah.
So should not have. Like, when I say that, I don't know if people realize by how much. I mean by so shouldn't have won that game. Do you want to see something crazy?
I do. Yeah.
All right. You know me. You know that I love the deserve to win meter, right? And just because it compiles all the stats together and shows you how a game should probably go, right? Just based off
it's the equivalent of you put the roster into, actually it's even better than just putting the roster into like the EA NHL games and hitting sim game. Like it's better than that because it takes like the actual events of the game.
Yeah, exactly. So, and the deserve to win meter, instead of just one time through like the NHL games, it goes through like these stats 1,000 times, right? And like with its formulas or whatever, and gives you an idea of who should win this game, right? Or who deserved to win based on their play. This is the most lopsided deserve to win-o-meter I have ever seen. 31 or 30 or 93, sorry. I
Wow.
can't read right now. 93.1% in favor of the San Jose Sharks.
Wow.
The Ducks win this game 7% of the time. 6.9 if you want to be technical on it.
Wow. That is that is insane.
That is the most I'm serious. That is the most lopsided deserve to win-o-meter I have ever seen. And I was going through some of the stats for it, like through this game, and yeah, 100% should not have fucking won this game.
Yeah. I mean, look at the shots. Literally just look at the shots.
Yeah, shots alone. I have it.
Oh yeah, it's up here. 52 to 25.
Yeah.
What? The shots were like 21 to 4 or something at the end of the first period. I guess
yeah.
I can confirm that here in just a second.
Like 52 to 25 is insane. And
21-4. Yeah.
The sweetener on that part, 52 shots from the Sharks. This isn't the Tampa Bay Lightning that we're talking about. This is not the Florida Panthers that we're talking about, which, by the way, if you haven't included in for the Sunday episodes yet, if there's a game on Sunday, we're not talking about it until Wednesday. So we're not talking about the game against the Panthers today. So yeah, this isn't Tampa. This isn't Florida. This isn't Boston, right? This isn't hell, even Vancouver that we just talked about the game before, right? This is the Sharks. As of today, as of this recording, we have the same amount of points as the Sharks with 2 less games played. So we're not great. I'm not saying that we're great or we're high and mighty over the San Jose Sharks, but the Sharks aren't doing too good either right now. Both of us, 9 points. That's it.
Yeah.
And you let them outshoot you 52 to 25? You let them have this kind of a game? The expected goals for this game was 6.06 to 3.27. This should have been a blowout game for the Sharks.
Yeah, it should have been like you had talked about. It should have been one of those embarrassing losses. But it wasn't, which is cause for celebration. Like, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Love that. But it's mind-boggling.
It's and like you said, we had 0 calls against, which I find to be a little bullshit also.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take off 2 because in my head, I know it's not actual, but I'm gonna take off 2 because 2 that we got again was because we lost a review. That
again, somehow.
I took a look at again, and I'm like, should have won that. Should have won that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, here you go. So this the go-ahead goal to make it 3-2 for the Sharks in the second period. That's the one I'm gonna bring up here. Because that's the one that was challenged by Dallas Eakins and the rest of the Anaheim Ducks coaching staff. Which
rightfully so.
They've actually done fine on that as of late. It's been fine, right? Because I know that was a talking point for us earlier this season too, of there's probably things that they should have been trying to challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I can't do it. Hold on a second. I had to stop the previous screen share.
Oh yeah.
Where are we here? Okay, here. This is I went through this again on YouTube for this game, frame by frame, watching this play. The Anaheim Ducks challenged this goal for offside. Carter, does that look like offside to you?
Absolutely, it does.
I'm just gonna make it a little bit bigger here.
Yeah.
Does that look like offside to you?
Still looks like it offside. If you could make it a little bigger, that would.
Yeah, here let's just get a little bit bigger. So just for reference,
enhance
here, the puck is right here. If you can see my if you can see my cursor here.
Yeah.
The puck is there. I can promise you that.
enhance. Oh yeah, there it is. I can see it.
That looks a little fucking
Oh,
offside.
you know what? Actually, can you zoom in on the Sharks player at the top of the screen there?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. What's Oh, I see it. You know what? The problem is his feet aren't on the ice, so he's not actually a player.
Actually,
so
no. Fun fact: I found this frame because his skates are still on the ice. He hasn't done the jump yet.
I mean, it's hard to tell because
it's a frame or two later where his feet leave.
I mean, either way, I was trying to be funny because it's either way. It doesn't matter if his feet are on the ice or not.
Yeah.
I don't care if he's standing on the fucking boards or if his feet are on the ice. He's in the zone and he is not changed yet. He's not changed.
The feet on the ice does actually impact this, but so that's why I was saying like, no, it's a frame or two later where his feet do leave the ice.
Yeah, I still think either way it's dumb. That part doesn't even matter to me. It doesn't even matter.
Offside.
It is.
That is offside. And that Sharks player, if you don't remember, is doing a change from Anaheim's end to his bench. It's the second period, right? It's a short bench.
You do the weird switch thing, yeah.
Yeah, but like that is offside.
Yeah.
That is offside. Do I need to pull out the rule for offside? Should I pull out the rule for offside?
No, because it's not going to help. Like he's offside. He's in the zone. So like I just don't understand how you can lose these challenges that are just so obvious. It doesn't make any sense.
You shouldn't be losing them. That's the thing.
Yeah, like it's wild. So I mean, thankfully we won the game and it had no effect on the outcome. Yes, it gifted the Sharks a point, which will affect the standings because it's a division rival. Or it has the potential to affect the standings at the end of the season, I should say. But yeah, I mean, we won the game. Justice was served, so that's all good. But it just sets a horrible, horrible precedent for the rest of the season. So
I don't even think that it sets a precedent because there's no precedent setting for the NHL, and it's officiating.
I mean that's fair, but
there's no fucking precedent.
Yeah. Yeah, so moving on here because otherwise we could talk about this for another 20 minutes probably.
Yeah.
We have to praise Anthony Stolie the Goalie Stolars.
He is the only fucking reason we won this game.
He needs to legally change his last name to instead of being Stolarz, needs to be Stolearz because that is what he does is he steals games. He stole that.
Yeah.
Anthony stole the game ours.
A 923 save percentage on 52 shots. You're going to hear that and you go, yeah, that's pretty good. But again, my favorite stat that shows better than the save percentage, goals against average, right, is that good old goals save above expected, right? I love that stat. It does show a good idea of how a goalie's night was, right? Because it takes into account the type of shots, if it's like a cross crease, a straight on, kind of like what's the situation overall. It kind of takes that into consideration for the most part, right? Plus 2.07 goal save above expected.
Yeah, I would say so. He had some phenomenal saves.
He had a great fucking game. And what was the tweet that you had before the game? Just talking about Stolars.
Oh yeah, no, I can read that off because I
Yeah, do you have it there?
I do. Yeah, it's that's not the right one. This one.
You don't tweet much, but like this one, I read it. I was like, yes, go Carter.
Yeah, so I said,
like this.
I'm trying. I'm actually trying. So I said Stolar's getting the start tonight. Glad to see the coaching staff making the right call and not gifting Gibson second and third chances anymore. Stolar's is the better goalie right now, and he is being rewarded for it. And then I had another tweet because I have lots of things to say, and I cannot limit myself to 256 characters ever. And then I said, of course, it's a back-to-back this weekend as Gibson will get the start tomorrow anyway, Gibson will get the start tomorrow anyways, but giving Stolie the first half is still a message that the faith is with him right now. Hashtag in Stolie the Goalie we trust. I had some people arguing with me on there as well that like Stolarz is not the better goalie. They both are not good right now. And yeah, Stolarz' stats, if you just look at them, don't look fantastic. But you have to remember 3 of those were in relief of John Gibson. So he's coming in cold in a playing
Yeah.
20 minutes in the third period in a game that we're losing. And he's let in goals, but hasn't faced a ton of shots because the Ducks are trying to make a comeback. You take out those games, he has 902 and 910, 902 and 909 save percentages. And like, he's been consistently good. And even in the periods that he's coming in relief, the stats don't look good, but he's been consistent in making saves that we need to either win us the game or to give us a chance in coming back.
Yeah.
So you at least know what you're getting from Anthony Stolarz. But with John Gibson, he's like all over the place.
Yeah. So here, you know what? I'll rebuttal on your behalf as well with stats, because you can't argue stats.
Yeah.
Right. So what's the argument that Stolarz is not better than Gibson right now? He hasn't been the better goalie.
Yeah.
Okay. So 6 less games played than John Gibson, sure, but John Gibson hasn't finished 3 of them. Right. Just keep that in mind. And Stolarz has not started 3 of them. Anthony Stolarz a 3.9 goals against average. Okay. Yeah. That doesn't sound
doesn't
great.
Look great. No.
That doesn't sound great. John Gibson with 3 more games played, 4.58 point for Stolarz. Save percentage 901 for Anthony Stolarz. That's not great numbers. I mean, decent.
It's above 900.
But it's just
above below the average, but above 900. So
yeah, but it's fine. Let's take a look at John Gibson. 883 point for Stolarz. And then, as I just talked about, we're going to take a look at the lovely goal save above expected. 0.9. Notice no negative there.
Just a
0.9.
Essentially
goal save above expected. So 1.
Slightly better than expected.
Yeah.
For Stolarz. I'm assuming.
Yeah. That's all right for Stolarz. Yeah. In 6 games played. John Gibson, -8 on the season. Again, -8. Gibson's had his moments for sure this season, but this is why I've been pushing for, and it's not to spite or like get down on John Gibson.
No.
In either respect. But it's Stolarz has been the better guy.
Yeah.
I get it. John Gibson is making a shit ton more money.
And it has the potential, it has the ceiling to be better. Has a much higher ceiling than Stolarz.
But if Stolarz, who's been everywhere in his career, right? And back and forth between the NHL and the AHL, even with his time in Anaheim, right? Like, he didn't become the backup in Anaheim until Ryan Miller retired, right? Stolarz has been the better goalie, right? Like, this is the guy that you should be running a little bit more with. This is why I push for the tandem of Stolarz and Gibson, because then Gibson plays better. And you're just more consistent in your goaltending throughout. Please play Stolarz more often. Again, it's not to slight John Gibson, but it's to the point that if you're putting in John Gibson, it's giving advantage to the other team already. It doesn't matter who they have in, right? You're giving advantage. Unless Gibson pulls like one of the 2 games that he's been fantastic out of his ass. Other than that, like, Gibson has a negative goal save above expected, I think, in every other game except for maybe 2.
Yeah, probably.
I can go back and double check that, but
no, I think you're right.
Like, it's not looking good for Gibson right now. And so I did have somebody in a group chat that I'm in, who's not an Anaheim fan as well. So they're looking at this from an outside perspective. So Anaheim should probably trade Gibson to New Jersey, right? Is what the message said.
Yeah.
And I didn't even go the route of like, okay, like, what would New Jersey be willing to give up? What would Anaheim be looking for specifically out of it, right? Like, kind of like, what are the pros and cons? I'm just like, I don't know what they would actually get for him. Like, Anaheim for Gibson. Is he a solid goalie? Yes, but he has struggled this season, especially. The defense doesn't help that either, but he has struggled. 883 save percentage, a -8 goals save above expected. I'm like, you're not going to get much value of a return there.
Mm-hmm.
So if Gibson was playing awesome, like not necessarily stealing games, but like
giving you average stats,
but like Stolarz was in this game against San Jose, giving you the chance to win the game, right? Like if Gibson was doing that, like 9 out of 10 games for a stretch kind of thing, like, yeah, sure. You could probably trade him high value, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, even with how early in the season it is, might be able to get a top pick for him.
Yeah.
Plus some, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could if he was doing that. He's not doing that, though.
Yeah.
Right now, I think, especially with the contract and the stats that are following it, they'd be lucky to get like a 5th round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's
not worth it to trade him at this point. No.
Gibson needs to figure it out, and Dallas Eakins needs to finally clue in to play Anthony Stolarz just a little bit more.
This will depend on what happens Sunday. So obviously Gibson's getting the start, so we have to find out what is going to happen there. But I'm assuming the first game on the Tuesday against the Sharks was kind of a scheduled start for Stolarz because you knew that the back-to-back was coming up. Okay, let's get Stolarz into the game. They didn't have to do that, but it was probably scheduled. They no matter what happened. But given the track record of Dallas Eakins and the coaching staff, it's very possible they just would have run Gibson all week and then, okay, back-to-back situation. Now we have to play Stolarz in one of these 2 games. We've seen it before. And it's not like it's Stolarz' first game of the season because he's started once already and then came in relief 3 times. So like, it's not like you would need to start him on the Tuesday, but they did. So probably a little bit of okay, Gibson's not playing fantastic, but like he's doing okay, but we are going to have to play Stolarz on the weekend. So let's put him in. Giving Stolarz the first game sends, like I said in my tweet, sends a little bit of a message like, okay, this is the goalie we trust more now, so we're playing that goalie in the first game. You could make the argument, San Jose, Florida, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, Gibson's our top goalie, so we're going to play him against Florida. So we're going to go a little bit backwards this time. It happens. But I still think there was a little bit of a, let's play Stolarz in the first game because he is the guy that has earned it.
It's also a game on the road, right? So like that does factor a slight bit into it.
Little bit. But this week is going to be very interesting to see what happens. And I'm jumping ahead a little bit into upcoming games, but we have Wednesday against Minnesota, and then we have Saturday against Chicago. So, and then next week is Tuesday against Detroit. So we don't have a lot of games coming up here. But so you could easily play Gibson against both Minnesota and Chicago, and no one bats an eye because, you got 2 days off, Minnesota, 2 days off, Chicago, 2 days off, Detroit. You could play Gibson in all 3 of those home games there.
However, who do you want?
If Stolarz gets any of those starts, then props to Dallas Eakins because he recognizes that Stolarz gives the team the better chance to win these games.
Read me those next 3 games one more time.
Minnesota on Wednesday.
Okay.
Chicago on Saturday.
Yep.
And Detroit on Tuesday.
Okay, so starting with Minnesota, they are currently 2 spots out of a wild card spot for the Western side.
Yep.
Chicago is in that Western spot right now with a 5-5-2 record. And I can't say, they're just in it with like technically like a 5-7 record, right? But like they're a playoff team right now, technically. If the playoffs started at 3 p.m. Pacific on November 6th, Chicago is a playoff team, which way too early season predictions are fucking fun.
Yeah.
And again, but I know we're only like 12 games into the season.
Yeah,
I guess San Jose's played 14 now. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, and then Detroit on Tuesday.
And Detroit. Oh yeah, where is Detroit right now? Oh yeah, sitting third in the fucking Atlantic. I'm looking at those games, and I'm looking at my goaltenders and how they've played lately.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion, which I know means jack shit in reality. My opinion, you play Gibson against Minnesota, right?
Depending on how this game against Florida goes. If he gets absolutely shit on, then that's subject to change. But
Minnesota, like they're doing okay. The only reason that they're out of the playoff spot right now because they played one less game than Chicago, have the same points percentage. Chicago just has that extra overtime loss on top of it. That's the difference here. Like they have the same goal differential. Doesn't that's literally the only difference here.
Yeah. So you play Gibson against Minnesota.
So I play Gibson against Minnesota. I'm playing Stolarz right now against Chicago and Detroit because those are the more challenging teams because all three of these teams are going to be a challenge for where the Anaheim Ducks are currently sitting in the standings. Right. But I'm playing Stolarz against the more challenging teams right now because he's the guy that has shown that he can handle it.
Yeah.
John Gibson right now has not shown it. Right. Like if I see Stolarz is the starting goaltender for any game, I feel more confident about what the result could be. I shouldn't, but I do. Right? Like off of pay alone, you should be more confident with the guy who's making a lot more.
Yeah.
Right? And the guy who is stuck in the NHL basically since day one. Right? Like he was the guy that Anaheim had to choose between him and Freddie Anderson. Right? And we've seen what Anderson has done since he left. Right? Went to Toronto, did pretty well. Went to Carolina, has done pretty well as well, besides getting hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he's done well as well. But like Stolie's the guy that I would be going with right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So and I think we've seen Eakins recognize that, but we'll have to see what happens next week. So
yeah, I'm not holding my breath for it because it's
because
it's going to come down to John Gibson's the face of the franchise. Yeah, you know what? Your face needs to maybe have a little bit more face time on the bench right now.
I mean, I'm not mad about that. His let's unmask John Gibson. That'll make hockey way more exciting to watch, especially when they show the bench shots. I'll be like, there we go. Most paused part of Anaheim Ducks games is when John Gibson gets shown on the bench.
He's more pretty on the bench right now than he is in the crease.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway, to continue on with the
back to this game,
of this game, because I guess we started with
I mean that still is a positive,
discussion. Positives though, Ducks are if I have this correctly, 4-1 in overtime or shootout games. That's pretty sweet. Sweet. And then you look at the standings and you go, wait, we're 4-1. We have 4 wins. Yeah, we still haven't won in regulation.
No. Which is tough.
It is November and we still haven't won in regulation.
Yeah. So that's that looks tough, but I mean at least we know that if a game goes to overtime or a shootout, we got a pretty decent chance.
Yeah, exactly. If a game goes, pull up your DraftKings Sportsbook app and bet on the Ducks.
Yeah. It's a pretty good bet, I would say.
Because like I follow our friend Audie's advice of like don't bet on your team, right? But like that's the one time where I would put money down on the Ducks.
As if it's
going to overtime.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to tie into this as well, the Ducks are comeback kids. In our 4 wins, first one, we were down 4-2 in the third period to Seattle, and we ended up winning 5-4 in overtime. Huge comeback for the home opener.
Yep.
Our next win, we were down 3-1 in the third against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and we ended up winning 4-3 in overtime.
Yep.
San Jose Part 1 on the Tuesday there. We won that one 6-5 in a shootout. We weren't really trailing. Well, like we were, but it wasn't really a comeback. Like at the end of the game, we were up 5-4. Carlson tied it, and then we took it in the shootout. But it was a very back and forth game, so I wouldn't call that one a comeback. But then San Jose Part 2, down 4-2 in the third, and we come back and win 5-4. Do you want to always be coming back in games? Absolutely not.
Yeah,
but if you're down in a game and you can come back and win it, that's fantastic. That you are able to do that.
Would it be nice to hold on to a fucking lead? Yes, please. God, I'd love to be able to hold on to a lead for longer than like 5 minutes.
Right.
And that's being gracious.
Yeah.
5 minutes. That's all I fucking ask.
Yeah. But it's at least exciting that you know that the Ducks aren't ever out of a game. Well, I mean, maybe the Sharks the Canucks won where it got pretty messy at the end. Maybe the New York Islanders won when that one looks pretty rough as it's like, okay, 4-1, 5-1. Oh, fuck. Okay, yeah, we're done.
It's not happening.
But if the Ducks are within 2 at any point in the third period, there is the possibility of them coming back. And that is exciting. And that is why you don't leave the Honda Center early, folks. And that is why you don't turn off the game like I did last night.
Yeah.
When the Ducks were down 4-2 in the third.
Unless you're playing the Vancouver Canucks, and then just fucking turn it
off. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. But it would be nice to just get a lead, hold on to it, and win a game.
Yeah.
In regulation.
Okay, I have one more positive here actually for this game. Surprisingly,
go for it.
The show has actually been fairly positive. We've hung on the negatives a little bit more, sure, but that's more with like the officiating kind of fucking us over a little bit.
Exactly.
Right? So as a positive there, we are doing something right in the review area at least. So which has been something we've talked about before.
Yeah.
One last positive here.
Mm-hmm.
Carter, do you know offhand who the shooters were for the Anaheim Ducks through the 5 rounds against the San Jose Sharks on Saturday night?
Yes, I do. Let's see if I can get them in order too. I think we started with Zegras.
Yes.
And then we went Troy Terry.
Correct.
And then Mason McTavish.
Yes.
And then it was Comtois.
Yep.
And then it was Adam Henrique.
Correct.
Yeah. And notably, there's one name missing from that list.
Who is it, Carter?
It's our boy, Kevin Shattenkirk. Took my advice.
Fucking Shattenkirk,
everybody. Sat the fuck down. That was like, I am so glad that he got kicked out of that first game against San Jose and Dallas Eakins couldn't put him in a shootout, and then we won. And then he was like, oh, we didn't play Kevin Shattenkirk in the shootout and we won. And then like the gears started to click a little bit. Some cobwebs came off, and then ever since then, now we can see Kevin Shattenkirk does not go in the shootout, and good things happen. And that was those were phenomenal picks. Of course, you're starting Zegras and Terry. Like that's never not going to happen as long as those two are Anaheim Ducks and healthy. You put Mason McTavish in for the third one. Fantastic choice.
Yes.
Put the 19-year-old in there, especially after he got his first goal of the season on a breakaway. Like that was literally just like, if that was not a sign to Dallas Eakins to put Mason McTavish in the shootout, I don't know. Like if he hadn't put McTavish in the shootout, I would have been like, what are you thinking? We literally saw him basically take a shootout, like a practice shootout in the game that he scored on to give the Ducks life.
Yep.
Like, so phenomenal choice. Max Comtois, who actually I've forgotten to talk about him. He's been phenomenal the last 2 games with Trevor Zegras. And I mean, obviously you're going to play phenomenally if you're playing with Trevor Zegras, but 2 goals already, 2 big goals in those 2 games. And he's looked phenomenal. He's been a presence. He's been physical, as you talked about. Max Comtois is here to stay. I hope that whatever happened last season is behind him, and he can be the winger for Trevor Zegras for years to come, because I think that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then Adam Henrique, who scored the game-tying goal.
Yep.
And had a chance in overtime. And also he gave a little pat to Reimer after McTavish's goal. Do you see that? That was fantastic. I know that
that's gutsy. That's gutsy by Henrique.
Absolutely. I know that that Ryan Getzlaf will always and forever be Captain Clutch. But Adam
Henrique,
but the spirit of of Getzlaf's clutchness
Yeah.
has now been transferred to Adam Henrique. And we're doing an impromptu just very quickly. And it's not going to be a big duck energy move. That's a big dad energy move right there. Thank you, Papa Henrique, for all of that. That was fantastic. What a phenomenal game for him. What a phenomenal start to the season for him. He has been so clutch.
Yeah,
so
and
clutch.
it might not show up like if you're looking at the direct stats, right? 3 goals and an assist for 4 points in 12 games, right?
Mhm.
That might not be the clutch that you're thinking of, but it's been the way that he's played on ice,
Mhm.
right?
And the timeliness of those points.
Exactly. Yeah, Max Comtois as well. All 4 points are goals this season. And again, this has been a team that has struggled to score, right? But yeah, and then Troy Terry has 5. Zegras is leading the team in goal scoring right now with 7.
Hell yeah.
Like, yeah, that's awesome. And again, like I know the names that I threw out when we were talking about the shootout last time are, kind of the obvious picks, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not really gonna throw out the "oh hey, I told you so" kind of thing, right? Because they're the obvious picks. They should have been the obvious picks a long fucking time ago.
Yeah.
For Dallas Eakins. Thank fuck he at least did it this time. I'm not going to say that he's finally clued in because we could get to the next game and it's a shootout and Dallas goes, you know what, Shaddy, you've missed the last 2. Go take the first shot, buddy. And fucking goes for a field goal instead, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm not going to say that he's clued in yet. He at least clued in for that game, though. And you know what? I'll give him a pat like Henrique gave Reimer. I'll give Dallas Eakins a pat for that because it's like, good job. You didn't fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe the tables are turning for Dallas Eakins there, fixing the problems with the shootout, giving Stellaris some more games. We might be on the uprising here for the Dallas Eakins redemption tour that ends in the Jack Adams.
I'm not fucking holding my breath.
No, I know. Hot takes already. We're November 6th that we're recording this, and the Ducks are way out of a playoff spot. But if this could be the beginning of the Dallas Eakins redemption tour.
Sorry, what are the standings right now? The Columbus Blue Jackets are currently sitting dead last in the league. 12 games played, 3 wins, 9 losses, for a 0.25 point percentage and a negative 25 goal differential, which is a league worse.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of hyperbole from you, but I would rather put money on the Columbus Blue Jackets winning the Stanley Cup this season than I would Dallas Eakins turning it around and winning a Jack Adams.
That's fair.
Sorry, Jack Adams, I guess, even like to put the cherry on top. So,
yeah, that's fair. I was just trying to see. I thought you could. I thought with DraftKings you could put money on the Jack Adams. But no. No, it's just the big name trophies.
interesting.
Yeah,
I guess it's just
maybe you have to do it before the season starts, and it's like it's a more of a niche one, right? Like it's not like
it's such a shit show trophy to even try to win, right? I guess you're not trying to win it, right? You're trying to coach your hockey team, but
yeah, and I guess too, it's not like a player, like whereas all the other things you can bet on with DraftKings, they're like player awards.
Yeah,
like stat-based awards, right?
What's the way that that Adam Wild from the SDP put it? The Jack Adams is the wow, your team did better than we thought they would award, right? So Daryl Sutter winning it last year with the Calgary Flames, and like the way that they took off, right? Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Congrats, you did way better than we expected you to do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if the Ducks were to squeak into a wild card, maybe you
Then
have maybe you have an argument for Dallas Eakins for the Jack Adams, but I don't see that happening. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening.
I don't know that, but I'm just saying that now so that when it happens, I can come back to this episode here and be like, look at this. It was right in front of us the whole time. But
Oh man.
but I mean, either way, we might be seeing the start of the Dallas Eakins redemption tour here. But
I'm not
to be
holding
seen.
my-
I know
Even
you're
for
not.
that, I'm not holding my
I'm
breath.
trying to be nice, okay? We're trying to be positive here.
Hey, I'm trying to be nice to Eakins.
Get out of
as
here with
well.
your
I'm
negativity.
trying to be nice to Eakins as well. Congratulations. You didn't put a shitty defenseman in a shootout. Great job. You have some brain cells at least.
Last thing about the shootout here, I mean, anyone that watched these last couple games, you watched the shootout, but like, just
we will post this on Twitter as well, by the way.
Yeah, the cockiness of Trevor Zegras to even like do this move, like it's just such a swagger move, anyways, that he does. But the balls to do it in back-to-back shootouts against different goalie, but the same team, and pull it off and score. Look at this, same move, literally like skates to the blue line. Timing's a little bit off, but I lined up the actual goals here.
Comes out
in
the right side.
Wait, stick handles out of his fucking mind, and then just cuts and puts it in. And then the goalie's reaction is the same too. They're like, yeah, stand up slowly with lots of pain in their eyes. Look at that. Look at even the goalies are the fucking same. But like right here, look at this. He's here, this frame in the slot. He's fucking right in front of the crease, the next, and then he cuts. Oh, I want this one right here. That's where the goalies know they fuck up. And then boom, in the net. And then just casually stick in both hands, just like going for a little curve. Yeah.
Yep.
Like,
and San Jose fans, if you got to go to both these games, you got to see this both times, and you were probably booing him both times, and then we're silent both times after he scored both times.
Yep. little deja vu there for everyone in San Jose. But yeah, I just thought that was funny.
Those people reach into their pockets and they're like, okay, this is maybe a fucking reference and a half that I'm going to pull out here, but they're trying to find that remote from the Adam Sandler movie Click.
Oh yeah.
They're like, do I have that remote? How am I back to this game on Tuesday? I thought it was supposed to be Saturday. Joke's on you. It was Saturday. And you saw the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Shut it.
All right. We've got an upcoming game to talk about here that we've already kind of alluded to, but we'll get more in depth on it. The Minnesota Wild will be in town on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. They are, as you said, just currently sitting out of a wild card spot, but they had a tough start to the season, and they've kind of picked up their shit this these last few games here.
Yeah, currently sitting 5-5-1. Well, excuse me, good for 22nd in the league right now. So yeah, they've definitely climbed up.
Yeah, won 5 of their last 6 games. No, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Yes, 4 of their last 6. Shut out by Seattle 4-0. I mean, I don't know what you chalk that one up to, but all of the other ones beat Chicago, Montreal twice, Ottawa, close game against Detroit. Like, yeah, a tough start, but they're starting to figure it out. So
yeah, their last, I guess they've only played 11 games, but their last 10 is 5-4-1. So they have kind of gotten it figured out a little bit more. I'm sure they'd like to do a touch better, but they're doing fine right now.
Yeah, it's definitely not time to write this team off if you're like a Wild fan. There's a lot of players that are doing a lot of good things still. So.
And Marc-Andre Fleury especially had a rough start to the season as well. Like as a Fleury fanboy, I was even watching that and I was just like, oh, like, dude, you're not looking like MAF right now. Like even like yes, you could throw in age is one thing, but like how he was playing last year, right? Like once he got to Minnesota. So it's hard for anybody to have played behind the Chicago team that was last year. But even with like Fleury's improved, the team has improved overall, right? Like Minnesota is on the up for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So this will be a tough game for Anaheim. The one positive for for them though is that Minnesota will be in LA the night before. So we'll get a tired Minnesota team. We'll see the backup in. Why am I forgetting who the backup in Minnesota is?
I just had it up. Sorry. Philip Gustafson.
Yes.
Yeah. Who he's been doing okay this year. He's played
has he?
3 games, negative 3.2 goal save above, but
Okay. I mean, in my experience with Philip Gustafson,
yeah.
I think
those were kind of early games for Minnesota as well.
Yeah.
So both guys kind of struggled. So
I'm very optimistic about how this game could go, honestly.
Oh, sweet daddy. Sorry. I don't normally check my phone, but I check it if like a Anaheim Ducks notification pops up.
Mhm.
And it's them showing off the reverse retros being worn tonight. Oh,
hell
fuck.
yes.
I can't wait to get that jersey. So, yeah, like they were sending it out to a couple people. It shows you how much of football I know. I think it's a football player that they gave one to. Sweet Annie OD as well got one sent to her.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, fuck, I want one so badly. I will get it.
Mhm.
I have like timers set for when they're available.
Yeah.
But man, I am so excited to have my hands on this jersey. It looks so fucking good.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
So good.
It's gonna be good.
So I also love as well the very quick edit that I made of like what would like a home version of it look like just on that
template.
Yeah. I guess just like making it like a realistic as much as possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of shot off. I think that's actually like for as shitty of a job as I did on that. Like I kind of looked at it after, I'm like, it's not my best work for Photoshop or that. That thing took off. Last I saw, I think it was like 155 likes.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
But oh man, it looks so good. I can't wait to see the guys in it tonight.
Yeah, I said to you off air as well. Like whoever scores the first goal in this jersey, depending on who it is, it has to be a player I do actually like.
If Kevin Shattenkirk is the first guy to score in it, you need to get Eakins on the back with 69. So that way you don't have to get Shattenkirk, but it's still
yeah. But yeah,
I think that'd be hilarious. If we just had money to spend like willy-nilly, I would get you that as a gag gift.
That would be hilarious. Yeah. I'm kind of hoping for Comtois. So like I might just get Comtois on the back because I think I've always really liked him, especially like Team Canada World Juniors stuff. But
yeah, you got Sylph there. I don't know if you're gonna get a name put on your 25th.
Not sure. Yeah.
Behind you, but I feel like that'd be like a Getzlaff or a Gibson one, maybe.
Yeah, I think
Getzlaff, I guess, for you, but
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. If I were to get somebody on the reverse retro, I don't know who it would be actually. I'm torn between Terry and Zegras.
Yeah. The only reason I don't want to get those is because I think there's going to be a lot of Zegras reverse retros like that.
Yeah.
So Comtois will be a bit of a unique one that way. I do want a Zegras jersey eventually. And I don't want to get Terry because my I guess grail jersey, to use a hockey jersey collector term, is to get a Terry like reverse retro version 1. Like Wild Wing. Yeah, I want to get him on that one. So that's one of those ones that like once I just have a shitload of expendable funds, I don't care how much it is. I'm just gonna find it and I'm gonna buy it. So
all right, I will keep my eyes open for you still.
Yes.
So because you know me, even though I don't have money, I'm still looking at jerseys for whatever. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there was a buddy that was wanting like older Ducks jerseys, and I was like, I found this listing, I found this listing, and I found this listing, and he's like, I don't have the money for these right now. And I'm like, yeah, but I found them, and here's cheaper versions of it.
Yeah.
I'm an enabler.
You are. You very much are.
And I really shouldn't. So
yeah.
But then people do it back to me too. So
yeah.
Oh, that's how you end up like me.
We got to do score predictions. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
For this Minnesota Wild game. I guess we can review the other ones we got. So nobody obviously predicted 8-5 for Vancouver here. But 5-4 Anaheim against San Jose. I was pretty close there. Look at that. 5-3 is what I said. So we're close for that one. So because we just have the Florida. Oh no, sorry, I'm mixing that up. We want this one. Let me scroll here. Okay, there we go. Florida, we don't know the score yet, so that's why it's not updated. But Minnesota, we can do a prediction there. Nate, what do you got for this one?
Oof, Minnesota. They're a team that still has some pretty good firepower. Goaltending's improved. I'm gonna go 4-2 Minnesota.
Ooh.
Extra point, I guess. The fourth goal is an empty net.
Okay.
And Anaheim's got a good shot, but like even as cash strapped as Minnesota is, like they still have a pretty good lineup. So they just had a bad start. So.
Yeah. I mean, I know I said that once the Ducks lose, then I'll stop predicting Ducks. Oh no, what did I say? I don't remember. I was just predicting
once Anaheim did win, as you were predicting them all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to predict them to win until they did. Yeah. So I mean, I don't have to predict Anaheim anymore, but because it's second half of a back-to-back, I'm not super high on Philip Gustafsson, and I think that we could potentially see Stolarz in net for this game on Wednesday. Potentially, it's an option. It's 50-50 as opposed to say 99-1, as like it usually is. I'm still gonna say Anaheim is gonna win this one, but let it be noted that this isn't me being forcibly optimistic. This is actually I think they could win this one. If Anaheim does win this one on the second half of a Minnesota back-to-back, I am going to say it's going to be 5-4 for Anaheim.
Okay.
High scoring and on both sides because we have a good offense, but we can't play defense.
Can you scroll up a little bit? I just want to see what my record is just for getting the team right. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess nobody wants to just hear me count, so.
Yeah, I think 9. I think there's only the 3 that you didn't get right, and it was against the Islanders, against the Devils, and against
Toronto,
the Leafs.
So 9-3 for who actually wins this season.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm doing all right there.
Yeah, not bad. I guess for me,
See, I'm not being pessimistic. I'm being realistic.
Yeah. Oh fuck! I lost count. I think that was 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wrong. So yeah, 7. But,
there you go.
Yeah, we're not even not close on both of them. So
yeah,
obviously.
I know there's something in Excel that you can do for the formula. Like we should see like what our record is just for getting the team right.
Oh yeah,
because we know the score one is going to be so hard to. It's so hard to get right. So
yeah, I could update that for
sounds good
to just put the team up there as well. So
sounds good.
Yeah, but yeah, right now goose eggs or duck eggs, I should say, on the top there. But yeah, that's what we got there. That's what we think of the Minnesota one. And yeah, I guess that's it. We don't have anything else, eh?
For this episode? Yeah, we got nothing else. Currently it is 4:22 Mountain Time, which is where we are. Game's supposed to start at 8:00 for us.
7. Is it not?
No, it's 7 Pacific, I think.
Nope, 7 our time, 6 Pacific.
Oh, okay. So we are less than 3 hours away, and we still actually don't know if John Gibson's starting.
I mean, like,
but I don't know what. As much as he had a shit ton of shots against him in San Jose, might be okay to go Stolarz again.
That's a stretch. I would be shocked
if you want the better guy in. I'm just saying. So I don't know. Somebody's gonna listen to the end of this part and just go like either, oh yeah, like Nate got it, or no, of course they were starting Gibson. So
yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll hopefully find out here in a couple hours. I guess we will find out in a couple hours, but
Yeah,
before game, I mean,
yeah, it's
not the
they don't
5
usually
minutes
say until
before.
like half
Yeah.
hour before is when the lineup goes out.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Usually.
another 5 minutes before the game starts and they put the lineup out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, that is another episode of the Quack Report in the books. We will be back on Wednesday. I guess we should say we're not doing a live episode at a regular time on Wednesday because of the Minnesota Wild game, but we will be doing a post-game show on our YouTube channel as soon as the game is done there, just to break down the game, give some thoughts. No watch along for this one, just there's the post-game section that we've done a few times.
Oh, we are still watching the game, obviously.
Yeah, and we'll record some chat on the rest of the week in Anaheim before the Minnesota game, and then then everything will come out at the regular time on Thursday morning, midnight Pacific, on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that fun stuff. Maybe slightly after, depending on how late this game goes. And
yeah,
all that
we've
stuff.
gotten to like 11:30 locally, so
yeah, exactly. So yeah, we'll see we'll see you guys I guess on Wednesday for a little post game chat after the Ducks hopefully win against the Minnesota Wild there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be sure to tune in with us on our YouTube channel at Quack Report Pod.
Yeah. And if you don't think you're going to remember to do that, but you have Twitter, then we will be at Quack Report Pod on Twitter. We're also on Instagram and Twitch at the same handles, which I guess is also another place you can grab that post-game chat is on Twitch. And Nate, where can they find you on Twitter?
You can find me on Twitter at Tatenamas, TATENHOMAS.
Yeah, and I am on Twitter at Carter_Potts, POTTS_97. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Monday edition of the Quack Report. If you're listening on Tuesday, again, F you. Just kidding. We love you. Do this the same. Go Dex, go. We'll see you later.